السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It's okay, no problem. Happens. Happens to everyone. Sure, no problem.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Uh, I'm sorry about the delay. It's kind of, I guess, awkward when you're the only one. Then you're kind of just waiting on. Subhanallah. Uh,
No problem, no problem, no problem. So يلا let's start إن شاء الله.
nah.
لا الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على محمد رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. Let's just finish, like, let's take 5 questions, just to finish this
Ah, yes.
اختبار.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, from last time. Did you get a chance to do the written one? I think it was the one for October or November. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was November. Um, and, I don't know who asked me about it. What's his name? Yeah, Bismillah. Bismillah. Where is that? I don't know. All these things, on the canvas.
Uh,
Could you continue to do them? What?
yeah. I am behind in both classes. Subhanallah. I don't know. I'm trying my
Yeah,
best, but
it's
yeah.
a lot. Anyways, you have, yeah, it's Muhammad Abu Majd. So Sheikh Mahmoud's brother who asked me about it. I think it was quite a while ago, actually. He
Yeah,
asked me about it.
I've been keeping up though, generally just with the classes with you and Sheikh Mahmoud, but yeah, it's kind of taking a toll. I'm just trying my best, but I don't really know what to say exactly. It's just there's a lot going on. Um,
No,
SubhanAllah.
I know. I guess already initially you were on for one of the two
Right,
courses,
right,
right? And I think
right.
you've been added to this one afterwards. So already you following this one, just being there for the lessons and attending is, I mean, it's already really good, mashallah.
Yeah,
Um, so I mean, do your best, do your best. I mean, from my point of view, it's good if you can do them, uh, because it's helping a lot. I mean,
yeah,
uh, even the weekly ones, I'm, I would say that it would be good if the weekly ones were a bit shorter. It was just like 10 questions or like,
yeah. They are a little long as well. Yeah,
yeah, it's a lot of questions. So it's great because I mean you have to revise them, and if you can follow that, then for sure it will help definitely, like memorizing all the masail and all that. Added to
hmm
this the monthly. So like, but were you following both tracks at the same time? Hard to keep up with everything, knowing that you have other lessons, that you have work, family, whatever, the normal life of anyone else. So yeah. Anyways, okay, let's continue. We were talking. Um, okay, do you have in head the for the محل for the tahleel, so a woman that was divorced thrice, for her to become permissible again, what should happen? And there are conditions to this tahleel. Yeah, just tell me whatever you remember from it.
Okay, so she's been divorced 3 times, and what would
Yeah, and
make
now
her?
they want to get married again. Basically, very great.
Okay, so there has to be a عقد صحيح between her and another man.
Hmm.
There has to be dukhul, and it cannot be agreed. Like there could it's not permissible that there was an agreement between any of the parties, like him and
Okay. Yeah, just about the dukhul. You might remember that there are a few. It's a bit more specific, than just the
Yeah, there has to
whole.
be penetration. There has to be penetration between the private
Yeah,
parts.
do you remember a few of the things around that?
Uh, yes. Hmm, okay, I'm trying to just picture it in my head, try to get the conditions. Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, it's very specific, when they start talking about it. It's not just like trying to dig a bit more into the
I think
this
there was
masala.
maybe ejaculation. Was it ejaculation from
No, actually not this one. We don't go that far.
okay, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I didn't think it was.
no, it's yeah, just
Yeah,
one
so
thing
so
that this nikah, it
mm.
has to be sahih and lazim also, so
Yeah, so all the
it
conditions are
cannot.
there for the nikah, right? So I mean there's nothing that would invalidate the nikah. Sahih nikah, and then there's dukhul from both. They're alone and they're intimate. They have intercourse. And there's no agreement between anybody. I remember that. There was a detail
Yeah,
about the intimacy itself, or was the or
yeah,
the,
it has to be, when they have intercourse, it has to be first. The husband has to have reached puberty, um, and the penetration has to be. Uh, he has to.
I guess to be in
To have
in
his
the
penis
like
erected, he must have an erection. So it's not
yeah,
like
yeah, right.
penetration of, yeah. So that's why I said it's very, they go into
Yeah, and I
very
recall it
specific
now.
details on
Yeah,
this one.
right. I recall it
And
now.
also it has to be bila mani', meaning she can't be
Like
fasting
where,
or having
yeah.
her period at that time and this sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it has to be, it's very specific. It's very specific.
Mm. I think it's coming back now, SubhanAllah. Okay. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's something else, but also none of them afterwards is denying the fact that they had intercourse. So it's that's another condition that is there.
Mm.
Um, and indeed, there shouldn't be any. Uh, I mean, the husband, the new husband, must not be getting married to her, or must not have the intention that he's marrying her in order to make her halal to the previous
Mm.
husband. We don't
Mm.
care about the intention of the wife or the intention of the old husband or the former husband. What's important is this new husband.
Mm.
Okay. Um, a woman gets married, and the husband tells her that he is married to, not married, but he has a slave, with which he has intercourse,
Mm.
and that's what he says. But then she discovers it's not one, but it's two slaves.
Mm.
What can she do? I mean, if she can do anything at all.
So she's not happy, like she's not okay with that, I guess.
I mean, she might be or she might not be, but let's suppose she's not happy with it.
Like she's looking to divorce, like she's as a reason to divorce,
A bit more precise than the divorce.
or a fest, like fest.
No. In the end, okay. i- In the end, it would be a divorce, but we are a bit more specific here when we talk about, because obviously it will not be talaq, right? Talaq is to the husband doing the talaq.
Right.
But there's a
But she,
concept where the
but
wife,
but she wants a
um,
khula. She wants a khula from the husband because of that.
no, because the khula in the end,
is a talaq.
If you ask for khula, the husband can refuse anyways.
Right, right. I'm just trying to see where the question is going. I'm not really clear on the question. So she's not happy about the two slaves, which, I mean, it's halal, like he's
Yeah,
not doing anything wrong.
the masala would be um, that he gets married to an amma. No, sorry, I said he owns a slave. No, he's married to a slave.
Ah, he's married. Okay,
Married
he's
to a
married to a
slave.
slave. Okay.
He's married to a slave,
Yes.
and she's not happy about it. Or after he's married to her, he will get married to a slave. And in the first case, there are two things. First, mas'ala,
Yes.
he told her that he's married to one slave, but actually he's married to more than one slave.
So he lied to her. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And other possibility would be he he was married to her and then he gets married to a slave. In
Okay.
both
Okay.
situations, the woman is given something, some right. Do you recall?
Oh, so this is about okay, okay. So we're not talking about what she so she would get it's about the mabia, like, or not, what is it called? The like the how many days she stays like with her versus the slave. Is that what the masal is?
Actually not. Here what she's given is when you say talaq, it's not entirely it's that's why I say it's more specific. It's not wrong, but it's a
But
bit more
what is the
specific.
woman? The woman wants to leave. Is that what the problem is? Like she wants to leave. She's not
She
happy
might,
with.
she might. It's not a matter of she might want to leave, but at that point she has to make a choice, basically.
Okay.
When she learns that, she has to make a choice, which is khiyar. She's given khiyar.
Right. Right. Okay. I got that part.
Yeah.
eh,
And so the khiyar is basically she chooses between herself and the husband. If she chooses herself, then it's yes, it's a talaq ba'in, but that's
yeah.
why I say it's a bit more specific. So your answer is not completely wrong. Yes, she can get a talaq, but it's not really getting a talaq. It's basically saying, okay, I choose myself over you, i.e., over you, my husband. So I will, she will get, we can say she gets a divorce.
Mm.
It's just like technically speaking, it's a bit more specific on that.
Okay. So if she does choose herself, this would be a non-raj'i talaq. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was that what you were looking for, or are you looking for something else?
That's the khiyar, basically. That's
Right.
the
Right.
khiyar. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But if she accepts, of course, she just stays, and that's
Mm, yeah. Yeah, of course. If she's fine with the situation, I mean, it's nothing to add. Um, الصداق.
yes.
What are the conditions of the sadaq? Well, some of them. I mean, you might not have everything in mind, but just what what can it be? What can it not be?
So as-sadaq is one of the shurut of the aqd, and it has
Yeah.
the minimum is a rubu' dinar, or
Mhm.
they mention like ثلاثة دراهم.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
uh,
And then
okay.
about what I mean, about it itself. So that's the minimal quantity, you'd say.
Yes. So I mean, it has to be an amount. It can't be something that's not an amount like Quran or something. Also, you with the dukhul you get half, or afwan, before the with the aqd you get half if there's a divorce, and after the aqd and dukhul she gets the whole thing. There's no max for the صداق لا حد له.
Can the sadaq be anything?
Yeah, anything pure has to be pure.
Okay.
There's the minimum amount, the ربع dinar or the ثلاثة دراهم. It has to
Yes.
be ينتفع به شرعا. Yes,
Sure.
yes, it has to be well, of course, agreed upon, like they between both. I feel like I'm missing something. Fuck. Just gathering my thoughts. Mm, um,
Can it be
so,
I don't know, a bird in the sky?
no, it has to be something that same thing like the Beya, right? It has to be something that
Mm-hmm.
is owned, like can't be like the fish in the sea or the something that's not like
Yeah.
physically held. Um, you can't you can't agree on like the isqat, right, between the two because it's a condition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Uh, talked about dukhul, so I remember about the dukhul, the half before the dukhul, and then after she gets the whole
No,
thing.
it's okay. That's sort of enough, you know. If we wanted to add something, it would be what it has to be ma'lum.
Oh yeah,
It has to be known, like what's the quantity and what is it? I mean, okay, what is it? How much? What quality? This sort of things, you know.
oh yes, yeah.
Um,
Mm.
right, two more questions. Two disbelievers.
Yes,
The husband converts.
husband converts. Okay.
Um, depending on okay, depending on the type of disbeliever, I'll let you tell me on this. What if we want them to stay together? I mean, if you want them, if they are to stay together,
Okay.
how much time and under which scenarios, like depending on her religion and this sort of things, you know. Let's talk just quickly about this. So
Uh,
he
yeah.
converts,
Yes.
married to a disbeliever.
Okay.
Also,
Okay. So the Muslim man can be married to a Muslim woman or a woman from Ahl Kitab, Jewish or Christian woman.
mhm.
So if she's a Jew or Christian, then it's fine. There's nothing to do. If it's not a Jewish or Christian woman, a Majusiya or atheist, I guess, or whatever, then there is a time, like she's allowed some time. Then if not, then they have to be separated.
Okay. Would you recall the
I think the
time?
time. I don't know why I'm inclined to say. I feel like the safe fans always say urfan, some type of time. That's not really, but I feel like there was a time actually stated in the book. Uh, I'm recalling something like
Okay,
6 months for some reason. I don't know why, but
if it's if she converts, do you recall what the time he has
yeah, and I'm
to
recalling
convert?
there's maybe some months, but I can't.
Now I'm talking the opposite scenario. She converts.
Oh, she converts. Oh, okay. So she
No,
converts.
I just like because okay.
Yeah.
First question was he converts. Now let's say she converts.
Okay. So he's so she can only be married to a Muslim man. So there's no other choice. Jew and Christian doesn't work here. And he's given some time though as well. And then if not, then of course they're separated because you can only be married to a Muslim man. Um,
Yeah. Do you recall the time for the lady?
Uh,
I mean, for him to convert. It's quite you can derive it by uh what happens like when two people got separated from the side of the woman.
separate from the side of the woman.
Like when they get separated, two whatever, like Muslims, let's say Muslims, they get separated, like divorce.
Hmm.
The woman now she enters what?
Oh, the istibra,
Yeah, or which okay, well, rather we should
or
hate that because it's
the
but
idda,
yeah,
the idda. You're right. The istibra rahim, the idda, which is three cycles, so 3 months.
more like it could be way more or way less depending on the cycles of the woman. But yeah, three
Yes,
periods.
yes, yes. Right, 3 period. Yeah.
Okay, so a wild guess. What could it be when she converts and what time is he given to convert? Should we say
So
educated guess?
three periods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And mm, one last question. Um, okay. صداق المسمى.
Mm,
صداق that has been defined.
okay.
What are the two things that will make the whole sadaq يعني obligatory upon the husband? All of it.
Uh,
So they just did the contract. Let's say he said, okay, 10 dinar.
yes.
That's the musamma.
Okay. Okay. So with the aqd, half of that would be due, and then with the dukhul, the other half would be due.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
Okay. But the
yeah,
dukhul here, what would it be in this mas'ala?
the type of dukhul.
Yes, in this mas'ala, what do we mean by dukhul?
Not even just being alone. Uh, for uh,
Okay, what's the other thing, the other matter where the sadaq would then become obligatory? The whole sadaq, I mean, on the husband.
if he dies. Uh,
Yes.
if he,
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one. That's actually a third one. That's a third
okay.
one. So I should have. So what's the last one in the middle, if I could say?
So we said the dukhul, and we said the maut. So that leaves one more. Mm, yeah, dukhul, maut, talaq. No, not talaq. Yeah. No, we already said it as dukhul before. It's
What if they never have intercourse, but they live together for a long time?
yeah. So they lived together for a year.
Mhm.
Yes.
So based on that, we never had intercourse. Um, what do you think is the meaning of دخول when the first answer you gave, you know. And I asked you about the meaning of دخول. Because if they live together, دخول happen, right? Based on the
Yeah,
definition.
right. Being alone, living together.
Yeah,
So here we're not talking about the waplet. We're not talking about like it's
yeah,
not a yeah, it's not a
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Okay. Okay, that's like I would say total 75%. That's good. It's quite good. I know that's a lot for you to memorize and all of that. So still 75% is good enough. The main thing, you know, that's the main idea behind all these multiple exams
Yes.
is yeah, but طوعا أو كرها you memorize the مسائل, but whether you like it or not, you end up memorizing the مسائل.
Right.
That's the main thing. And you know, you might, and that's unless someone has the chance to start early and to memorize the mutun and all that, memorizing the masail is it's tough. It's tough, especially when we can memorizing the masail of like already al-wudu was salah when you start to get to a certain level of complexity.
Mm.
There's already quite a lot to memorize there. But if you start including the muamalat, nikah, all of this, that's literally hundreds of thousands of masail. So it's like a lifetime job, you'd say. So may Allah help us memorizing all the masail. Allahumma amin. Okay. So oh, there's something else. You are supposed to, and it's not for today, yeah, but I think it should have been maybe last week. But anyways,
Mm.
let's pretend we didn't see anything. Uh, to prepare a lesson, right? That you would be teaching, and I think I don't know if you chose the subject already. On this list, you know, there's this PDF that you got at the very beginning,
Mm.
and there's a list of the different lessons, or like not lessons, but they divided all the chapters in sub chapters or sub like sections or topics, whatever we want to name them, and you can choose one of them and sort of like prepare a lesson. I don't remember like how long it should be. I don't know if it's 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe you want to talk to Mahmoud Salim about this one.
Mm.
Um, because I know you're very tight when it comes to time, but I think it would be beneficial and quite nice to do it. Uh, uh, yeah,
So just taking one
uh,
like mas'ala and just kind of just explaining
it's a
it.
bit more than a mas'ala. It's more like for example, if you go to the very beginning of a nikah, let's say
Yeah.
we have like the at the beginning, there's like the definition of the nikah, and then there's the quickly what are the arkan and some masail related to the arkan of the nikah, and then talking about the khutbah. And we could say like the khutbah, the khutbah should say to be precise, the khutbah and the mandubat. You know, it's like one could say, oh, the arkan and then the khutbah and the mandubat. That might be one topic. I'm not saying that it's the way they divided it, but
Yeah.
if we were to divide everything into sections. Uh, but yeah, check
Check.
first, read again in the PDF uh, where I think they explain this. So you should be able to find it, inshallah.
Okay.
And
This is next
maybe let's
Saturday, though?
try to. Hmm?
Is this next Saturday?
Honestly, it doesn't have to be next. Let's try to do it during December. You see, let's try just
Okay.
to have it somewhere in December,
Okay.
so it's done. You know,
Okay.
and yeah, inshallah.
So,
Um, um, let's start, and then in 20 minutes we can take just 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes break,
okay.
and then continue.
So,
So the author says, rahimahullah, just I'll let you open your book. I don't know if you could open it yet.
I'm ready whenever you are, Sheikh. Sure.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So, Bismillah. The author says, rahimahullah, ومضى النكاح إن وقع بمنفعة كدار. Still talking about الصداق. بالإضافة أي منفعة مثل دار أو عبد أو دابة أو تعليمها قرآنا كسورة منه أو إحجاجها ولا فسخ للنكاح على المشهور قاله ابن الحاجب. Okay, مسألة very clear. It's permissible to have, or it's valid. It's valid to be more precise here, because that's what we're talking about. ومضى, meaning it's validated. It's we let it go. A marriage that has been done, and the dowry is a manfa'a. Manfa'a like what? It's like dar, which is what, like living in a place, or like letting her live in a place, or benefit from um letting her benefit from a house. Of course, we're not talking where she would live like with him. For that would be like something extra. Otherwise, I mean, he has to, as part of the nafaqah, he has to make sure she has a place to live, right? We are talking something in excess. Like it could be like, oh, I have this apartment, and um, uh, you can use it. Meaning, if she wants to rent it, if she wants to put some of the family in it, whatever. It's just I don't give the apartment to you, but I let you use it for that period of time X. Or teaching her the Quran, some of it, all of it, depending on what she wants and accepts. Or having her do the Hajj, meaning like bringing her to the Hajj, or like nowadays to be paying everything for her to do the Hajj, and okay, let's say going with her, or having a mahram go with her. ولا فسخ, and it will not be cancelled. According to the مشهور, قال في الجواهر الثمينة، وهو قول أكثر الأصحاب، نقله المصنف في التوضيح، عبارة ابن الحاجب، وفي كونه منافع كخدمته مدة معينة أو تعليمها قرآنا، منعه مالك وكرهه ابن القاسم وجازه أسبغ، وإن وقع مضى على المشهور. انتهى. قال في التوضيح قوله وإن وقع مضى على المشهور تفريع على ما نسبه لمالك من المنع، وأما على الجواز والكراهة فلا يختلف في الإمضاء، وإنما مضى على المشهور لاختلاف فيه. وما شحره المصنف قال في الجواهر وهو قول الأكثر للأصحاب. انتهى. وقيل الإمضاء مبني على قول ابن القاسم بالكراهة، وأما على المنع فيفسخ قبل البناء ويثبت بعده بصداق المثل ويرجع عليها بقيمة الأجرة لوقت فسخ الإجارة ولو بعد الدخول. So a lot of اختلافات here, a lot of things mentioned from the origin of the حكم. So what we have to keep in mind, we say this idea that the marriage is confirmed is based on what? On two things. Initially, on the fact that Imam Malik said it's impermissible. But an اختلاف. Imam Malik said it's impermissible. Ibn al-Qasim said it's makruh. Asbagh said it's permissible. So the fuqaha, the mashhur that has been followed by the fuqaha is that we will not cancel this marriage. Even if Imam Malik said it's impermissible, and that's on this that the whole mas'ala is built, the marriage will be confirmed. It's not invalidated. Now, and other ulama said, no, this al-imda, so the fact that it's confirmed, is based on the opinion of Ibn al-Qasim, who considers it makruh. And if it was based, if we had to follow the opinion of Imam Malik, the marriage would be cancelled before the dukhul and confirmed after the dukhul. Like any other marriage that is invalid because of that, right? I mean, it would be very it would be pretty standard. وجاز نكاح التفويض والأحب نكاح التسمية ونكاح التفويض عقد بلا ذكر أي تسمية مهر ولا دخول على إسقاطه فإن دخلا على إسقاطه فليس من تفويض بل نكاح فاسد كما تقدم ولا صرفه أي الصداق لحكم أحد. So permissible to do nikah tafwid, which is a nikah where we don't talk about the nikah, the salah. We don't mention what is the amount, what is the type, what is the anything of the sadaq. You just get married at tafwid. Now, so that's the first thing. Second thing that is permissible also is to say, okay, the sadaq we suspend it, meaning that what it will be, we suspend it to the decision of someone else. So both are permissible. فإن صرف أي الصداق له أي لحكم أحد فتحكيم أي فهو نكاح تحكيم وهو جائز أيضا. So this second category is named نكاح التحكيم. So we have نكاح التسمية, we have نكاح التفويض, and we have نكاح التحكيم with regards to how we decide what the dowry is. يعني if we decide and what we decide. No. Now we go into the branches of everything related to that. ولزمها أي الزوجة في التفويض وكذا في التحكيم إن فرض الزوج صداق المثل وليس لها الامتناع. So she will have no choice but to accept if the husband chooses or decides to give her صداق المثل. And if he says, okay, I will give you صداق المثل, she cannot say anything. She has to accept. That's what this means. Or likewise, محكم says, I mean, which is this, third party that we let decide. Likewise, if he says, okay, you will get the same thing. So this Bismillah. صداق المثل. So that's what you will get. And yeah, she's basically tied by this. She has to accept. نعم. ولا يلزمه أي الزوج لا يلزمه الزوج أن يفرض صداق المثل، بل له أن يفرض أقل منه، فإن رضيت به وإلا قيل له إما أن تزيد وإما أن تطلق، وإن شاء طلقها قبل الفرض ولا شيء عليه، وكذا لا يلزمه ما فرضه المحكم إن كان غيره، ولا يلزمه فرض صداق المثل إن كان هو المحكم، ولها طلب الفرض قبل الدخول، وكره تمكينها من نفسها قبل الفرض. Okay, so a few things here. Few things. First, he doesn't have to give صداق المثل. He can, when I say give, offer. The fard here is him offering. So he doesn't have to. He can offer less on this. She might accept or she might refuse. Why? We say she has to accept when it's صداق المثل or more, obviously. If it's less than صداق المثل, she doesn't have to accept. She's free to accept or not. That's the first thing. If it's less than صداق المثل and she refuses, we tell him either you add so that it reaches صداق المثل, or you divorce her. It's one or the other. Because if he divorces her now, because nothing has been offered, there's no fard, then he will not have to give her anything, right? Because it was nikah tafwid, and now there's talaq before the dukhul and before any tasmiyah. Likewise, the muhakkim who, if he decides of anything, the husband is not obliged to follow or adhere to that. He's not forced to follow the conclusions or the proposition of this muhakkim. Now, she can and she should ask before the dukhul. She should ask. She can ask, rather than she should, because she should would give the impression that it's either like recommended or obligatory. But she can ask him to. It's a right she has to say or to give an offer, about what the sadaq would be, so that she can accept or refuse, or ask him to increase and so on. That's for the dukhul. Here, the dukhul just talk about, them being alone in a place. As for her letting him having intercourse with him before the fard, this is disliked. Now, what happens if they have intercourse? ولو وطئها قبل الفرض استحقته، أي صداق المثل بالوطء إن كان بالغا وهي مطيقة، ولو مع مانع شرعي، وليس له أن يقول لا أفرض إلا أقل من صداق المثل. So, now they had intercourse. So she has a right for المثل. At the moment, there is intercourse. With always this condition that he has reached puberty and she can have intercourse. She's mutiqa. Okay. even if had intercourse in a way that is prohibited, like she's during her period, or he or she are in a state of ihram, fasting, or all of these things. Okay. And he cannot, from that moment, say that he will just give her less than sadaqah mithl. He cannot, at that point, it's too late. She is entitled to sadaqah mithl. That's her right. لا بموته. So she's not entitled to sadaqah mithl if he passes away before the tasmiyah, before the fard. لا بموته قبل البناء وإن ثبت به الإرث أو طلاق قبله إلا أن يفرض لها شيئا وترضى به ولو ربع دينار فلها نصفه إن طلق قبل البناء وجميعه إن مات أو ماتت فقوله إلا إلى آخره راجع للموت والطلاق فإن لم ترضى فلا شيء لها. Okay, first here. So he passes away before الدخول. Two things. ثبت به الإرث, so she will inherit, but she will not get the sadaq. أو طلاق. Same thing if he divorces her. قبله, before the دخول. إلا أن يفرض لها شيئا وترضى به. So as long as there was no fard, no mention of what the sadaq will be, and she accepted, two things, huh? This is number one. He says we are after the contract, huh? But before al-bina. He says, okay, that will be the sadaq. Oh, okay, that's my offer basically for the sadaq. That's number one. Number two, she has to agree with it. As we'll see, if she doesn't agree, it's not so easy. It becomes a bit. Means she will not be entitled. There are a few details. We see that normally, inshallah, later today. Yeah. So he passes away or he divorces her before these two elements, fard plus rida. She is not entitled to anything. If he offered and she accepted, then she's entitled. In the case of the talaq, to half of it, and in the case of his death, to the complete sadaq. وترضى به ولو ربع دينار. Yeah. Okay, this I already mentioned. Okay. Important, we keep in mind. فإن لم ترضى فلا شيء لها. إن لم ترضى could be two things. He said one thing could be that no, I'm not happy with this. Please reconsider your position. Come with a new offer. One, or it could be just she didn't answer yet, and he passed away in between. That could be this or that. ولو فرض لها الأقل فمات أو طلق قبل البناء. الأقل here is less than صدق المثل. فادعت الرضا. Oh yeah, we talk about it now. لتأخذه في الموت ونصفه في الطلاق ونازعها الوارث أو الزوج لا تصدق فيه أي في الرضا بعدهما أي الموت والطلاق بمجرد دعواها. If he offered to her less than صدق المثل and he passed away or he divorced her, and then she said that she agreed with it afterwards. And here we are. What's interesting to us is in both when he passed away and if he divorced her. So she said, "Oh, I agreed. I agreed with that." Okay, in the case he divorced her, I mean, easily he could say that no, she didn't do right. But maybe we can't reach out to him. Maybe he passes away after the talaq also, so we have no chance to ask him whether she agreed or not. So ونازعها الوارث أو الزوج. So in both cases لا تصدق فيه, we do not believe her. After the death or after the talaq, we don't believe her بمجرد الدعوة, because it's just a claim. It's a claim that is in her favor, and if it's not backed by anything, there's no reason to believe her. It looks too much like someone who wants to get money easily, right? A bit too a bit too easy, we could say. Now, there's a nice hassle in the hashia that I can maybe I can just read it in Arabic, and then you can sort of use it to revise. حاصله السويسس حاصله أن الزوج إذا ثبت أنه فرض لزوجته في نكاح التفويض دون مهر المثل دون مهر المثل ولم يثبت رضاها به حتى طلقها أو مات عنها قبل البناء وبعد الطلاق أو الموت ادعت بعد الطلاق أو الموت ادعت أنها كانت رضيت بما فرضه لها من ذلك. فهنا لم يثبت رضاها، ليس هناك يعني بينة أو لا شيء يثبت أنها قد ارتضعت، بس هذا شيء أول. فبعد الطلاق والموت ادعت كما قلنا سابقا، فإن دعواها بذلك لا تقبل إلا ببينة، مهم جدا، إلا ببينة. فلو ثبت أنه فرض لها صداق المثل قبل الموت أو الطلاق، هذه مسألة ثانية. المسألة الأولى دون المهر، المسألة الثانية مهر المثل أقصد. المسألة الثانية صداق المثل، فرض لها صداق المثل ولم يثبت رضاها به، فلما مات أو طلقها ادعت أنها كانت راضية به قبل الموت أو الطلاق، كان لها الجميع في الموت والنصف في الطلاق، لما علمت أنه إذا فرض لها صداق المثل لزمها ولا يعتبر رضاها. شفت الفرق؟ وأما إذا لم يثبت أنه فرض لها شيئا قبل الموت أو الطلاق، وإنما إذا ادعت ذلك بعدهما فلا تصدق، سواء ادعت أنه فرض لها صداق المثل أو أقل. وهذه هي المسألة الثالثة. فهمت كل شيء بالعربية؟
نعم شيخ.
الكل واضح سيدي؟
نعم نعم واضح.
الحمد لله. طيب فنأخذ يعني 5 دقائق
نعم إن شاء
وقفة صغيرة كده كي
الله.
نشرب شوي،
نعم إن شاء الله.
فنستأنف بعد 5 دقائق.
إن شاء الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام.
إن شاء الله. بسم الله. إن شاء الله. Let's continue. Where the author says, وللرشيدة الرضا بدونه، أي بدون صداق مثل بعض، في نكاح التفويض والتسمية ولو بربع دينار، وللأب في مجبرته والسيد في أمته الرضا بدونه ولو بعد الدخول، ولو بعد دخول. نعم، راجع لهما. Okay. So as we sort of already know, the Rashida, so the one that has been, the woman that has been considered the Rashida, and the father, and the Sayyid, and the Wasi. We will see about the Wasi right after, a bit more details. So let's keep the Wasi aside. They can agree to a sadaq that is lower than sadaq al-mithl, whether be it before, during, or after the contract and the dukhul. So ولو بعد الدخول. Now, وللوسي, we'll see with the wasi it's a bit different. وللوسي الرضا بدونه قبله، أي قبل الدخول لا بعده، لأنه قد تقرر لها بالدخول، فإسقاط بعضه بعده ليس من النظر، بخلاف الأب والسيد لقوة تصرفهما دون الوسي. وظاهر قوله وللوسي قبله ولو لم ترضى وهو الصحيح، وظاهر المدونة أنه لا بد من رضاها به، واعتمده أبو الحسن. So the wasi can agree before the dukhul, can agree before the dukhul, even if the lady doesn't agree with that, can agree to a sadaq that would be lower than sadaq al-mithl. After the dukhul, he cannot. And the reason why the father and the master can and he cannot is that the father and the master, their power of, we say the sort of like the power of decision, let's say, and action over the lady is way higher than the wasi. The zahir of the mudawwana is that she would still need to be consulted. But what Sheikh Dardir mentions as being the correct opinion is that it's not needed. We don't need her agreement. Now, there's something that might need to be checked here. When he says وَهُوَ الصَّحِيح, is to see what is this as-sahih, because there's one mas'ala I have in mind where as-sahih is the mas'ala of what constitutes a meal, what number of cubits is a meal, and it's very interesting because the wording as-sahih is actually the wording of Bismillah, شو اسمه صاحب التذكرة ابن عبد البر. Ibn Abd al-Barr is the one who says والصحيح 3500 3500 cubits, when the mashhur is 2000. But if you just read some commentaries on this mas'ala, you'd think that, oh, as-sahih, so that's the correct opinion is that it is 3500 cubits, when the mashhur is 2000. And here as-sahih just refers to as-sahih 'inda Ibn Abd al-Barr. So that's the another مسألة. So now going back to this مسألة we have in front of it. Here we have a Dardir saying وهو الصحيح. So now the question, because here the Sahih goes against the. So when we see something like this, we should have a small like light that lights up in our brain. Like, okay, let's check what is this as-sahih. What does it refer to? It could just mean that it's the correct opinion, mean is the madhab, it's the mashhur, it's the rajih, it's the whatever, ما به الفتوى. Or it could be more technical, like in this mas'ala of the number of cubits in a meal, where a sahih does not refer to the fact that it is the correct opinion, but according to one or maybe more than one of the ulama, it is the correct opinion, which is not the same thing. So to be investigated, inshallah. فإن فرض الزوج في نكاح التفويض لها شيئا في مرضه قبل الدخول فوصية لوارث فتكون باطلة. So he is now, we're in the case where he is sick for sickness that leads to death with a high level of certainty, fortunately. And at that moment, so contract has been done, dukhul did not happen. He now gives an offer for the sadaq. This offer will be considered as wasiyyatun liwarith, as giving money to someone who would inherit, to a warith, to an heir, which is not possible, right? Not possible. That's why we say fatakun batila. So this wasiyah is not valid. فإن أجازها الوارث فعطية منه. But if the other inheritors, he says warith, he uses the singular, but it doesn't mean that there must be one warith. Now you could have many people who inherit, but it's just a way to talk. And warith meaning anyone inheriting. So if the inheritors allow for that, it would be عطية منه. It would be a gift from any inheritor that accepts. ولو فرض لها أزيد من صداق مثلها وهو مريض ردت للوارث زائد مهر المثل إن وطئ في مرضه ثم مات لأنه وصية لوارث إلا أن يجيزه الورثة واستحقت بالوطء مهر المثل. So now we have another مسألة. There was he's sick. There is an offer that is done, that is above صداق المثل. They have intercourse and he passes away. The intercourse means that she's entitled to صداق المثل. So okay, she gets صداق المثل. Now what is beyond صداق المثل? She will have to give it back to the inheritors. Why? Because this excess or excedent beyond صداق المثل is وصية لوارث. It's something that is given to an inheritor that is not part of the fara'il, not part of these shares that every inheritor would get, or anything that someone would get following the rules of Islamic inheritance. Because I said the shares, but some people, they don't have a specified share, like the son, for example. So she would have to give back this part that is beyond sadaq al-mithl, because sadaq al-mithl, she's entitled to it because of ad-dukhul, but what comes on top of it, she's not. So she would have to give it back. فإن صح من مرضه لزم الزوج جميع ما فرضه ولو أضعاف صداق المثل. Okay, that's pretty clear. If he gets better and doesn't die from this مرض illness, she would get, I mean, everything. He has to give her whatever has been decided between them. Okay, now we talk about مهر المثل, which يعني we talked about it a lot, but we didn't mention what it is and how do we define it. Of course, I explained it to you, I'm pretty sure, but we didn't talk about it inside the book. ومهر المثل هو ما يرغب به مثله أي الزوج فيها أي باعتبار دين أي تدين من محافظة على أركان الدين والعفة والصيانة من حفظ نفسها ومالها ومالها وماله ومال وجمال وحسب وهو ما يعد من مفاخر الآباء من كرم وعلم وحلم ونجدة وصلاح وإمارة ونحوها ولا بد من اعتبار النسب أيضا هنا. Okay, so first section. Mahr al-Mith is based, we could say, or is related to the kind of things that are sought out by a husband in a wife. Like, what are the qualities a husband wants to see find in his wife? Uh, it's interesting to see that, like, quite a few things have changed. Um, because, okay, what do we say? First is the tadayyun, religiosity, piety, you know, tadayyun. If she is preserving the pillars of deen, and if she's well maintained, you know, um, and acts and interacts with others based on all these principles, and if she preserves herself, you know, and is not like going around joking with men or like having fun, it's sort of things, all of these elements. من حفظ نفسها ومالها وماله, and also how she, yeah, what's her attitude towards money. Basically, if she's the kind to basically go every other day to the Louis Vuitton or Hermes store, definitely she will not take care that much uh, and will not preserve neither her money nor his money. ومال, if she's rich. وجمال. So the first thing is deen, mal, jamal, hasab. So here you can see that when it comes to the kafa'a, we said we take in consideration al-mal, wal-jamal, wal-hasab, wal-nasab. Here we say it's a deen, wal-mal, wal-jamal, wal-hasab. So we add a deen. Here in the matan, he doesn't mention a nasab, but as you might have heard, he adds it in the sharh. No. And the hasab here, it's actually the explanation is is interesting. It adds to the explanation we have in the kafa. Because it says here it's all of this thing that creates that, or what you get, or what makes you proud of your forefathers as generosity, knowledge, um, being pious, being you know, a king or an amir or these sort of things, hilm, najda, all these qualities, you know, these qualities, but more or less, I think universally, a man will take pride in. Now, and that's why he says also ولا بد من اعتبار النسب أيضا هنا. So the nasab. But here the nasab in probably the way he talks about, he mentions he, and the meaning he wants to refer to there is probably the nobility of the nasab. Nobility of the nasab. And obviously being like a descendant of the Prophet ﷺ, or one of the big Sahaba, or someone from Bani Hashim, all of this is a higher status, you know. Now, وبلد. we take in consideration also the place. فإنه يختلف البلاد، فمتى وجدت عظم مهرها، ومتى فقدت أو بعضها قل محر مثلها. فالتي لا يعرف لها أب، ولا هي ذات مال ولا جمال ولا ديانة ولا صيانة، فمهر مثلها ربع دينار. So basically, the more qualities a lady will have, among these qualities, the higher her mahr will be, and the opposite, the opposite. And he's giving an example. He says, okay, a lady that first we don't know who is her father, so forget about the nasab, forget about like also the hasab, right? Because we don't know the father. So and she has no money or not a lot of money. She's not beautiful. She's not religious. Wala siyana, meaning she does not manage her life properly in terms of money, in terms of like interactions and this sort of things. Then her mahr al-mithl would be the lowest possible, ruba dinar. So you see, when you look at all the masail we talked about before, related to mahr al-mithl, sometime mahr al-mithl would just be the minimum mahr. It's for this kind of lady. And if you look at all these qualities, I mean, nowadays, unfortunately, most men, they don't look at the siyana, they don't look at the diyana, they look at the jamal, but mostly, okay, they look at the jamal of of course, the face, and then they'll be like thinking about the other parts of her body, you know. At that time, it was just the jamal, like, is she pretty, basically? You know? Does she have a pretty face? And that's it, you know. Um, And nowadays, like, do people care if she's rich or not? Maybe some people, but that's not very, you know, widespread. It's not very widespread. And let's not talk about, does she have a father? Is the father known? What is her nasab and this sort of thing? Most people, they don't care. Some people, they would care if they know that the wife is from Ahl al-Bayt, for example, which is it's an honor, obviously. But that's maybe the only thing that would count. Yeah. It would be only in the higher, I think, the higher level of a society where people would start to think more about this. Because in this layers of the society, these levels, you know, there's usually the involvement of the family and the pressure of the family on whether it be it like actually the husband or even the wife, but we're talking about the husband here, it's a bit higher. It's like, no, you can't get married to this kind of lady. She's not worth it, you know, and the pressure can be very, very high. So, and I guess that's why until now, arranged marriages are probably still higher in these families and even like disbelievers. I'm pretty sure, like, if we were to conduct a study, sociological study of this phenomenon of like arranging marriages and trying to take in consideration some of these qualities. I'm pretty sure like higher the high social classes of a society will probably be like more often than not, or like more often than in other classes of society, we'll find that they do care about these things. And I guess in lower classes of society, it's more probably things like, oh, does she come from the same place as us? Or like, is she probably like a lot of racist stuff also, like, no, she's black, or no, she's from a subcontinent, or no way, she's from whatever, you know, from Asia, or this sort of things. And you might have pressure uh, on the husband based on that, but not these qualities that were the qualities like that were traditionally sought. No. No, let's continue. والمتصفة بجميع صفات الكمال فما So if she has all the qualities, then her mahar, right? And uluf, we're talking about like thousands of dinar here. A dinar is 4 grams of gold. So if it's an uluf, already like imagine like 4,000 grams, that's 4 kilos of gold. You look at the price of 1 kilogram of gold, that's a lot. That's a lot. We're talking about like maybe 250K dollars, I guess. So yeah, very, very high dowries are not something new. It's just that back in the day, we had more criteria, I think, to determine these things. And when you look at all these young ladies that basically go and ask for like, I want 50K and I want a husband that earns uh, minimum 100K per year, and I want this and I want that. And when you look at what they offer, which is best case scenario, they are beautiful and they pray, um, that would put a lot of things in perspective, right? I think. Anyways, والمتصفة ببعضها بحسبه. So yeah, of course, if he has some qualities and some other qualities are missing, then we would, yeah, it would be like a middle ground. فقوله مثله إشارة إلى أن الزوج يعتبر حاله بالنسبة لصداق المثل أيضا، فقد يرغب في تزويج فقير لقرابة أو صلاح أو علم أو حلم، وفي زوج أجنبي لمال أو جاه، ويختلف المهر باعتبار هذه الأحوال وجودا وعدما، وهذه الأوصاف تعتبر في النكاح الصحيح يوم العقد. Okay, something we don't talk a lot about is that also we consider these qualities I mean, when it comes to the husband. So it will have an impact, it will be put in the balance to determine what is the mahar that she will get. Um, if she has all these qualities, but he also have all these qualities, then why would he give 200K dollars of dowry, right? Because also he has a high value. Whether like if he's someone who is a bit below that, then she could ask for a lot of money. But if he's of a very high status, but maybe he doesn't have that much money. But as the author says, maybe he's a relative. So that's one of the reasons one might want to get married to him, or he's someone very pious, or he's knowledgeable, and these sort of things. Oh, maybe now he's so people like ladies want to get married to him. So now we could talk like in modern uh, modern concepts. We say there's a matter of like supply and demand from her side and from his side. If she's the kind to be really sought out, then of course it will increase the mahar. But also, if he basically can choose any woman by just like almost doing like this, then this has to be taken into consideration that he is not like desperate to get married. He has the choice. He can find other women that would have a lot of good and high qualities. So of course that would have an impact in the we said negotiation around the dowry. All of these qualities we've been talking about, we we take them in consideration for a valid marriage on the day of the aqd, on the day of the contract. Um, Now, then the author says, رحمه الله: واعتبرت هذه الأوصاف في النكاح الفاسد يوم الوطء. لأنه الذي يتقرر به صداق المثل في الفاسد كالشبهة، أي كوطئ كوطئ فهو يعتبر صداق المثل فيه باعتبار الأوصاف يوم الوصف. So now we were talking about صداق المثل. صداق المثل for a valid marriage. And when do we look at this? These qualities, and we said the qualities, we look at them on the day of the contract to determine what is صداق المثل. Why? Because صداق المثل, she might get it only on the day they have intercourse. Why do we say this? Let's say there's a contract that is established, but then there's no dukhul before 2 years. For maybe different reasons. Maybe she's too young. Maybe he is too young. Maybe he's living abroad, or they just is the two families. They found an agreement. Okay, let's get our children married. Everybody's fine, but just the family of the husband. They say, okay, but he has to go there. I don't know, to work, to study, to learn a craft or whatever. You know, he has to travel for 2 years and come back. Okay, everybody's fine. Okay, let's go. So in 2 years, when the dukhul happens, and it was nikah tafwid. So now how do we do? We look at the qualities of both of them when the contract was established. What if it's an invalid marriage? Then we look at the day of the what? The day they had intercourse. Because that's when I said dukhul, it's always like what? When we talk about, as we just said before, in this mas'ala. And so Sadaq al-Mithl is on the day of intercourse, but it becomes, but she's entitled to it. So that's why for an invalid nikah, we look at the day of intercourse. Like nikah al-shubha. No, what al-shubha, sorry. So كوضع الشبهة فإنه يعتبر صداق المثل فيه باعتبار الأوصاف يوم الوضع. So if there's what بشبهة, which is when one or both of them believe that they are having intercourse with their husband or their slave and or their master in this situation, when actually it's not. How can this happen? In the dark, I don't know, no, people not being very aware of anything, people who never met each other in the past. I mean, different scenarios. We can think. We can try to find like examples. But anyways, same thing with what shubha is the day of the what that will be considered. واتحد now new مسألة واتحد صداق المثل في وطء الشبهة مرارا إن اتحدت الشبهة ولو بالنوع وذلك كالغاضة بغير عالمة مرارا وظنها في الأولى زوجته هند وفي الثانية دعد فلها مهر واحد وأولى لو ظنها في كل مرة أنها هند وكذا إن ظنها في المرة الأولى أمته فلانة وفي الثانية أمته الأخرى وأولى إن ظنها الأولى. والموضوع أن الموطوءة غير عالمة لنوم أو إغماء أو جنون أو لظنها أنه زوجها أو سيدها. So that's one مسألة, all of this. So when there is intercourse, but it's not with the wife, the lady is entitled to Sadaq al-Mithl. Not always. And we talk about it. But sometimes he, the husband, might have to give more than one sadaq. So let's look at it. First, واتحد. So only one sadaq. In اتحادت الشبهة. If it's the same shubha. So he had intercourse with someone and he thought, and this person, the lady, doesn't know. She doesn't know that he's not her husband or her sayyid, her master. So, and so they had intercourse several times. The first time he thought it was this wife named Hind. Second time he had intercourse, he thought it was with her other wife, Selma or Layla. In all of these scenarios, he will have only to give one sadaq to this lady. And we're talking about the same lady, yeah, and even more so the case, but he will have only to give one sadaq to this lady if he thought that it was like twice Hind or twice Selma or twice Leila, but he thought it was the same lady. Exactly the same thing if he thought during the first intercourse that slave, Selma, And second time he had intercourse, he thought it was Layla. And third time he thought it was Hind. And fourth time he thought it was Sulaiman, and so on. But here it's always he thought that it was an Amma. In the example right before, every single time he thought it was one of his wives. So there is ittihad al-shubha. It's always the same shubha. The first thing it was shubhat nikah. Second example is shubhat milk. In both scenarios, when there's ittihad al-shubha, only one sadaq will he give. Okay. وأما العالمة بأنه أجنبي فزانية لا مهر لها وتحد. Okay, that's like between brackets. It's like a by the way. Here he's doing. By the way, the one that knows. So here the husband, he doesn't realize. Okay, but now what if she realizes that, oh, that's not my husband, that's not my master. But if she realizes and basically doesn't I mean, if she realizes in from the get-go, from the beginning, then she will not get anything because it is zina, and also she might face the had punishment if it was um, established. I mean, if there were witnesses or if she becomes pregnant and so on. Now, وإلا تتحد الشبهة بأن تعددت كأن يطأ غير عالمة يظنها زوجته ثم وضعها يظنها أمته تعدد المهر بتعدد الوطء والظنون. So, وإلا تتحد. So, in case the shubha is not the same. An example of that is the first time he had intercourse with this lady. Let's name her Jessica. And first time he thought it was his wife. So that's one shubha. Second time he thought it was a concubine. So at that moment, that's two shubha. That's shubhat milk and shubhat nikah. Right. That scenario, he would have to give two. Two mahr or more if he has more intercourses and there are more shubhat. تعدد المهر بتعدد الوطء والظنون كالزنا بها أي بغير عالمة يتعدد المهر عليه بتعدد الوطء بعدم العلم. وسماه زنا بالنسبة له لا لها. So like if he has intercourse with a lady and she doesn't know, uh, and okay, her not knowing, it could be different things. I always took the example that she thinks it's her husband or slave or master. But it could be also, and you might have noticed that when I was reading Arabic, she might be asleep or fainted, in coma, or she might junud, she might be just crazy in a, in a in a madness type of crisis. So these are the different cases. So and I only think about like someone being in the coma or uh, fainted, or junoon, or it could be nowadays with specific drugs. So in all of these cases, you could understand how like, it could happen like several times, right? Because it's not so easy to find or to be in a situation where you would not like several times this would happen and you don't know that the person you're having intercourse with is neither your husband nor your master. Not impossible, but hard to believe that would really happen. Um, so in that case, he would have to give the sadaq for every intercourse there would be. And that's when he is aware. He knows that she is not uh, his wife. No. And so that's zina, but from his side, it's not zina for her, right? Because she doesn't know. And the one that doesn't know, we can't say it's zina, because zina implies a had punishment. أو الزنا بالمكرهة يتعدد لها المهر بتعدد الوطء على الواطئ ولو كان المكره لها غير. Now, so the zina implies to zina with which is basically rape, to force a lady to have intercourse with you, uh, will imply also multiple sadaq, multiple dowries. So for every single time you would have intercourse with her, she will receive sadaq al-mithl. والحاصل أن العالمة المختارة لا مهر لها عليها الحد لأنها زانية. So first thing, the one that knows and has the choice to have intercourse with this man that is not husband, she will get no mahr, and yeah, she might get the had punishment. بخلاف المكرهة وغير الطرفين وغير العالمة فلها المحر. عفوا، بخلاف المكرهة وغير العالمة فلها المحر. The one that doesn't know or is forced, she will get the mahar. وعلم منه أربعة أقسام. So four types here, four types. علمهما معا وهو زنا من الطرفين. So first thing, both know that they are not married. So this is zina, خلاص, from him and her. نعم. Second, she knows and he doesn't. علمها دونه وهو زنا منها ولا شيء لها وتحد. So she knows and he doesn't. The husband doesn't, but she knows. In that case, it is zina from her, and she will not get anything. She won't get any sadaq or anything. And she might get cause the had punishment. وجهلهما معا وفيه المهر ويتعدد إن تعدت الشبهات لا إن اتحدت. So that's the مسألة we covered. Both of them are ignorant of that fact. She will get the مهر بعد الدخول يعني. what بعد الدخول استغفر الله. I don't know why I have this word that came in my mouth. We're not talking about dukhul or anything. We're talking about anyways. So both of them ignore that the fact that they are not married, and so she would get the. If we have different shubha, she would get several times the mahar. And if he knows and she doesn't know of that situation, he will also have to give the mahar. And here in that scenario, يتعدد بتعدد الوط. So when he knows, so he's the one committing zina, he's the one doing zina. If he has several intercourses, for each intercourse, for each وط, there would be صدق المثل. نعم. والمراد بالوطء إيلاج الحشفة وإن لم ينزل كما هو ظاهر. And here what we mean by what? Intercourse is دخول الحشفة, meaning the tip, the head of the penis entering inside the vagina of the lady, even if there is no ejaculation or nothing. And we'll stop here, inshallah. I don't know if you have questions.
I don't have any questions, Sheikh.
Alhamdulillah, we almost covered what I wanted to cover. Probably we'll finish An-Nikah, not next lesson, but I think on Monday. And then we'll start فصل في خيار أحد الزوجين. See خيار. We were talking about it earlier. So we'll start this chapter. So that will be, alhamdulillah, a nice milestone to finish this, one of the biggest chapters, or if not the biggest chapter of the whole of fiqh. Chapter on An-Nikah. Barakallahu fiqh.
Barakallahu fiqh, Sheikh. Jazakumullah khairan.
Inshallah.
On Monday?
Oh no, Monday. So no, next Saturday. Next Saturday we will finish the chapter. Sorry, I said Monday, because this Monday will not surely not finish because there are a bit too many pages left. But next Saturday, inshallah.
Inshallah.
كرمك الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.